that Ukraine needs to stop throwing manpower away in fruitless attacks against a Russian defensive line that is prepared to receive them. The Ukrainians have basically slaughtered their manpower. Their available reserves are down to zero. And so this was his way of putting pressure on Zelensky to stop the counteroffensive. He's paid a heavy price. It appears that the Secretary of Defense, the Minister of Defense for Ukraine, has submitted a demand calling for Zelensky to resign. And this is a significant event. He's a very popular general. He could choose to refuse this. This could lead to a military on civilian, fight for the leadership. This could be beginning of a military coup. Who knows? But the situation is very unstable right now in Ukraine in regards to civil-military relations.
Add to this reporting by NBC News over the weekend that the significant contingent in the American State Department and in the EU foreign ministries have begun to discuss the desirability of negotiation. Now, I don't know if they're discussing that with President Zelensky. He, of course, can never acknowledge that publicly. He could have had a fabulous deal if he told Joe Biden and the British Prime Minister to go take a hike 2 years ago, but he didn't. And we are where we are today. Has the West recognized that Ukraine has lost, and it's about time they started talking instead of supplying ammunition?
Well, absolutely. I mean, there's no serious military official or political official now that talks about the prospects of a Ukrainian victory. Oh, how the story has changed. Remember this months ago, everybody's, Ukraine's going to win. No, they're not. They've lost. The strategic victory that Russia was looking for has been achieved. Russia has strategically defeated the Ukrainian military. That doesn't mean the war is over. It means Ukraine will never regain strategic initiative. They will always be on the defensive. There will always be in a losing end of a military equation that has Russia coming out on top. It's inevitable, and now it's just a question of time. The smart move right now is for the Ukrainians to, cut the line, take the loss, get the best deal they can. But understand, it's not going to be a deal negotiated by the West. I always laugh when I hear people say,
"Okay, I can barely see." I had to go to the eye doctor today for my other eye because I had the symptoms of a detached retina. Turns out I'm just getting old, and I had things happening in my eye that everybody, as they get older, it happens to. That's what he said. But having said that, I have to go back in 2 weeks to, he said, we got to make sure it's not a detached retina. So I have to go back in 2 weeks. So anyway, I didn't go live today. Ham is going to call in, although I'm not exactly sure when. He just told me to let him know when I went live, which I have done. So anyway, that's where we are. This ZJYL, it was kind of odd. It stopped trading. And I think it stopped trading to keep it from closing significantly higher. I'll let him tell you what he's heard on that. GTII, almost 21 cents, not 21 cents, but almost. Logic, 4 cents. Well, no, 0.0379, 0.0379. Vocal, $3 it closed, 140 bid, which I guess is probably not completely accurate at the close. GDC, 180. Finger, 230. ZJYL 262.5. HNRA, which is the SPAC of that story, $2. HNRC 0.033. Oh, darn it. CAUD, 81 cents. The bid's under 80 cents. And then I have here MMAT, 0.053. Let's see where MULN is. $6.85. All right, so I'm going to have a hard time reading any questions because of the eye drops they gave me. Let me see if, maybe if I put them over, I can guess. Hi, Red Pepper, Ronnie. Hey, Daryl. Neil. Hello. Zizu. Hey, Jean Ordo, or 666, or King. Hey, kitties. Cheese McCracker, Red Pepper. Hey, Brenda. Hey, Scott. Sooner Man. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Frank. Hey, Rob. Thank you. I wish I knew how to contact you. But anyway, Chris Knight. June. Jeff. Ben, I sold the rest of my AMC. Hey, good job. Bravo. 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 No, bravo. No, bravo. Bravo. You took an action. You acted. You acted. And now you're trying to make money. That's the whole thing, trying to make money. My friend the other day that sold Logic, which I don't want to tell him, I hope he's not listening. Logic's gone up since he sold it, but that doesn't matter. He took action and he bought ZJYL at 100, and he's making money on his trade. And you probably paid more, obviously. If I hadn't gone to the, for my eye, I might have tried to buy 100 shares. I mean, sorry, 1 share more, but I didn't. Just to me right now, Ben, on ZJYL, this is not very sophisticated, but anything under 300, 310 is just buy it. Go ahead and buy it. I think it'll be, essentially a $500, $600 stock once it goes through somewhere around 310, 290, 310 with enough volume. So why not? Good job, Ben. Good job. Is William even here? Yeah, that's a good question. I think I am. I don't know what, life can throw some curveballs, even when you think you have it all sussed. Hey, Augustin. Hey, Meekers. Yeah, I know, Meekers. It was, I've got to get it right. I think it had a 297 ask. It might have been 299. That's my eyesight. The drops, it goes away. But they wouldn't let it trade up there. They wouldn't let it trade up. I think they're afraid of a print. You get a mark at 300, and maybe all of a sudden there's some margin calls. I don't know. Hey, Eddie. Hey, Chris. Yeah, lucky today. We went into this bank on an totally unrelated mission, and I had to sit there and talk to I don't remember her name. She's very nice. Lucky I let go of the leash and he just walked around the perimeter of the bank saying hi to everybody. He kept checking on everyone. And it made him smile. It made him happy. He felt like he was doing something. DBMM, I don't know where you're getting your information from, but you're welcome to believe what you want to believe. I don't, as I heard somebody say the other day, I'm not afraid of facts. I'm not afraid of information that is true and maybe different than mine. But I would submit to you that Putin has never intended to take over Ukraine. We have tried to goad him into war, but he has made no statement about once the Minsk Accords were ignored, once we broke our word to not press for the Ukraine to be put in NATO, his interest lay in the Russian-speaking and essentially Russian provinces. They're not called provinces. Donetsk, I can't say the names. I can barely say Medvedev. But I don't think his goal was ever to take more than essentially Odessa, Crimea, and the 2 or 3 provinces where everyone there is Russian anyway. But Ukraine is lost. They are going to lose. It was an idiotic war because Hillary Clinton lost the election fair square. I mean, frankly, if you don't want to challenge elections, and we have the most transparent, best elections in the world, she lost. Get over it. But instead, she did everything she could do to start a war with Russia. That's my opinion, and I'm a Democrat. It's idiotic. And I'll tell you what else is idiotic, DBMM, to start a ground war, fund a ground war with a megalomaniac that we put in office, who's now a billionaire. Walk around the streets of whatever town you're in. What could $1 billion do to your town? But to have a war using depleted uranium bombs and in and among 27 or 28 nuclear reactors and the nuclear waste, it is sheer stupidity. The Ukraine it's the breadbasket of the Soviet Union. It's the breadbasket of MENA. It's the breadbasket of huge swaths of the world. And now it's radioactive. But hey, DBMM, bravo. Good for USA, except I doubt you go USA because you don't want to sound like a MAGA, but you go, yeah, Russia. It's just a gas station. It doesn't have an economy. Just keep that frame of mind and you won't recognize what comes hitting you in the financial markets. I don't care. Well, I do care. As you tell, I get worked up. But I try to point out that the power of the US dollar, the power of the US military, the power of the US financial markets to continue to commit fraud so that just certain people, privileged people, can get bloody rich. It's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. And I'm sorry when I raise my voice. Oh, you look like an old man that belongs in a crematorium. Thank you. You didn't say that. Somebody else said that. Thank you, AC Collins. Greg Menard. I love that picture. That's a great picture. Hey, Linda Tully. Let me see if he's texted me back. Oh, gosh. Somebody texted me. Can I get rid of these people? Hakeem Jeffries is now asking from the bottom of his heart. Hakeem, with just 5 seats standing between us and a Democratic majority, meeting our critical fundraising goals could make or break our chances of flipping the House blue. So could you rush $15? No. STOP. It won't stop it. Once a Democrat, always a Democrat. Yeah, Matt Gunn. That's what I got scared about. But he said it's something like some gelatinous ooze that happens in the back of our eyes. I don't know. So we did all the tests, but he wants me back in 2 weeks. And you're right. It's very dangerous. And so I'm going back in 2 weeks. I'm becoming vintage. Yeah, I age like Boone's Farm. Oh, Lordy. Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. Hey, where'd you get your peepers? Women always have such beautiful peepers. Lasered it back on. I don't want a laser in my eye. Well, AC, you're probably around 42 to 46. When I was driving to Lexington, Kentucky, no, I was going back to Louisville to catch my flight, and I was sort of lost. Somehow the rain was pouring down. This is back before cell phones, believe it or not, or at least back before cell phones had all that data on them. The smartphone, it's more accurate as before smartphones. But I was wearing my contact lenses for distance. And I've always been blessed with being able to read, so that I could read literally between the time I left Cincinnati and the time I got to the ring road around Louisville. I pulled out the map. I couldn't read. Happened just like that. All of a sudden, I needed reading glasses when I was wearing my That's what happens. One day, 1 hour. SGYL is ready to go, Greg. I actually thought I got down on in the tube and to come back here, and I thought once I got out, it would be over 300. But you're absolutely right. Let me look at the chart. I think I should have printed the chart out for B. I should have printed the chart out for B. Maybe I can still do that and go. See this? Retinal tears or my computer is so slow. Retinal tears or retinal detachment are often characterized by flashing lights. That's what was happening. And streaks of lightning in my eye. That's what was happening to my eye and in my line of sight. These flashes are often white or yellow. Mine were primarily yellow with a little bit of white, but it was mostly yellow and may be more noticeable in a dark room. So it was frightening. All right, I'm going to look up ZJYL and see if I can print out a chart for B. To be or not to be. To be or not to be. I can't find the print button. I know there's one there. I just can't see it. I cannot see it. All right. I can't see the print button. So how else can I print it? Oh, God. There it is. I see the print button. Okay. I'll print this and show you, Greg, why I agree with you. I think it's ready to blast off. Hey, Sunil. Hey, Mr. Pilot, stay out of Boeing Max crap. I know, don't worry. By the way, don't worry if you missed one trade. Be happy for everybody else that's in it. Because once we have one win, I think there'll be the next one and the next one and the next one. And Mad Gun, I assume you might be in some of these other names. I think money will come. You know, like a waterfall, it'll come in the other name. So if ZJYM, you're not in it, don't feel like you have to go rush to buy it. Let it happen. There'll be other names to make money in, and we can learn from this. For example, that same guy who I was telling you about, I won't tell you how many shares he bought, but he put about less than a third of his stock out. Actually, about a quarter of his stock out at $250, $249. So he gets all of his money back, and the rest he has to trade, just leave to trade. So we're going to learn some lessons if this works, which will help us. It'll help us in future trades. And I was thinking about this today while I had my eyes wide open. You know, people get frustrated. I understand that. I do too. But if some of these trading lessons become part of our instinct, you're going to be able to trade the rest of your life. You know, the idea that Ham puts a law across of buying something when others don't want it, and then when it starts to go, which doesn't always happen, but when it starts to go, take your original money off the table and trade for free. It's a pretty powerful lesson if we can learn it. I've never been good at learning that lesson. Wow, 276. He hasn't called and he hasn't texted me, so we'll just have to keep going. Let me go down your yeah, Frank, I feel very blessed that I have a great eye doctor, and he had somebody else that could step in. I feel very blessed that I knew to go and have it looked at. I feel very blessed. Thank you. And I feel blessed that my dog was smiling at the bank. He was so happy. We were there about 25 minutes and he couldn't have been happier. Oh, Phil, why did they stop trading when they only trade 1,000 per hour? Order imbalance. My guess is that there was a large, okay, Ham is going to call in about 5 minutes or so. I think there were thousands of shares ready to buy today, and we'll let Ham talk about it. But I think there was something like 35,000 shares to buy, and if no one's selling, I don't think any of you are. We know the whales aren't selling, and we know the insiders aren't selling. Insiders have 80% of the stock. The whales own the whole float, and we have some peanuts, but nobody's selling. So my answer, Phil, is once those buyers showed up, there's an order imbalance, and they halt trading so they can try to control that, reconcile the book. It's left over from when you had specialists, and when things go crazy, they're risking their own money to maintain a stable market. And when it looks like it's going to go out of hand, they'd stop trading while they collected all their paper ballots, so to speak, and then they matched orders off, and then it'd start again and it'd go up. Now I think it's all nefariously done to help the criminals. I think Wall Street's set up for the criminality that we're watching. And everyone from the $28 million woman to the $125 million man, they don't care. Hey, Jennifer and Barbara and Phil, that was a good question. I should have said something. Hey, Miles, Jeff. 276. That was the high, 276.11. That's pretty amazing. Devanda, how are you? Hey. Did you see BA puts? No, is BA way down? I wish I owned those puts. BA's going out of business. BA, is that Boeing or British Air? Let me look. BA. It's Boeing. It's still $200. The high on the year, 267. That company's going out of business, I think. It's going to flirt with bankruptcy. They have to just scrap the entire MAX aircraft carrier. That means they've got to return money. They've got to take all those planes out of service, and they've got to start from scratch. And in the meantime, Aerospace France, whatever that one's called, Eurostar, whatever the hell it's called, it's going to take all the orders. I wouldn't get on a MAX jet. Not that I have a choice in the matter. Hey Otto, hey Morty, Phil V, Mike M. Let's see the 200s due tomorrow. January 26 puts, the 200s. I think they're $1. That's not very much. Let's look at February. $5 on the 200s. That's not a bad. It's not a bad. They'll try to rally that stock, I bet. But I think it'd be an interesting one to buy maybe 3 puts on. If you get your money back, sell one and then keep 2 just to see what happens. GTII, I've kind of tried to talk about control and palace intrigue, and I just don't think I can explain it in any more detail. So if I'm not being very clear, I just can't be much more. But I think we're at an inflection point, and it could be good. All right, here we go. All right, let me make sure that the speaker always disappears if I don't use it right away. Hang on.
Battery
Okay.
connected to Bill's iPhone.
All right. Okay. You're live, hamster. Sorry.
Did it?
Yeah, it is.
It
It's live.
disappeared.
It's
Is it working?
Yeah,
Good
it's
to know.
working. Your audience is here. They're tired of me, and they're ready for you.
They're tired of you already. You're out all day.
Yeah, the prognosis is that it's normal, but I have to go back in 2 weeks to make sure. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's good for you. Thank you.
That's good. Yeah,
that's-
they didn't
good to
find
hear.
a brain though.
they-
It looked pretty hard. They couldn't find my brain.
All right, so let's start with again, not to buy or sell, blah 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 blah. SEC, FU, you're a disgrace. Just give me a second. I was just putting on a sweater. It's cold, or I'm cold. Anyway, so I'll just go through what happened today. Finger motion, obviously, out of the gate, they crossed 25,000 shares at 9:30 in 2 seconds. I don't know about you, but it's pretty hard to find a buyer and seller in a matchup at 9:30 in 2 seconds. So they're doing wash trades. They're going back and forth. All they're doing is looking for people to step in and buy. When people step in and buy, the stock firms up. Okay, the company's not going to zero. The company's in business. It has revenue. It has money. Where are they going? This is just as we call it, this is just to jerk everybody off. That's all they're trying to do. Trying to get people to panic, talk about it, give up on it, you name it. That's what they're trying to do. They do it in all stocks. They did it in NVIDIA. They drove it down to 4 something. Today it's over 600 to try to get people to come out. That's the game. That's what these guys do. The game is slanted against us because if they had stock settlement, all these tricks wouldn't happen. They wouldn't mean anything. But unfortunately, I can't stop unsettled trades. You can see what they're doing. They use it to their advantage. The SEC is a disgrace. All right. And getting law enforcement to move at the pace we need them to do, unfortunately, I can't do that. That doesn't mean they're not doing things, which I believe they are, but I can't say hurry up. They take the stock down 8 cents. Could you hurry up? It just doesn't work like that. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, things are going in the right direction. Finger Motion is presenting in Atlantic City if anybody knows how to get down there. Hopefully I can reach out I'm going to go down there and see Pedro. Hopefully he can come over from Philly. It's not far from Philly. And for all you Atlantic City degenerates, if you want to make it down there, if you really have an interest in Finger Motion and want to see what's going on, the CEO is presenting there. I just found that out today. I posted it. I'm basically going to go there and explain to all the other companies that they're wasting their time. I just tell them that they're all dead. The only people that really go to these trade shows are the short sellers because they want to befriend the CEO and basically get them to do a deal. Some other gentleman posted Aegis Capital, AC Wainwright, Maxim, Benchmark. They're all the same thugs. They have the same clients. There's probably 200 of these funders, as we call them, like Yorkville. The brokerage firms, when the companies come in, say we got the perfect lender for you, and they cut the deals, whether it's Yorkville, Lynn Partners, obviously the Kramers are in the garbage pail. They only do loans in the back alley. I mean, those are different characters. But Benchmark saying they did $50 billion in lending. Every investment in those companies is worthless. They're 10 cents, 12 cents. They murdered them all. They have some pair of balls to brag that that's what they're doing. And I forget the gentleman's name. My friend knew the people there. And he said he makes a fortune, the guy. Because everybody goes to him and they know he'll cut you a check for $10 million in 2 minutes, but they destroy your company, as you can see. All their investments, stocks get destroyed. They're rich, companies are poor, and shareholders are wiped out. It's the same pattern, and no matter where you look, it's the same thing. That list of stocks that are up there, I knew one, VERB. I didn't know who did the deal with them, but it's on that list. The other ones I didn't know. So here's another 20 names that have been slaughtered by Aegis Capital. Either the guy who's raising the money at Aegis is the biggest ass in creation, has no idea how to invest money, or something is wrong, that someone's manipulating the stock. So it's either he's an idiot, the guys that put the money up are even dumber, because everything they invest in goes straight down. And they're all wealthy, and they're bragging, oh, this is how much money we raised this year. Every company they funded is getting destroyed. Destroyed. Lynn Partners, everything they do goes straight down. Yet they're all predicting, they're all sitting there talking how wonderful they are. They help everybody. Help them do what? When I go to Atlantic City, I'm going to tell every one of those CEOs, I'm going to tell them I'm looking for someone to work on at Walmart. You could be a greeter. You'll make more money working at Walmart than you are going to be the CEO of this company, because you're going to go to zero. Whether it's today, tomorrow, you're going down. And you tell me, how could they answer back? I don't care what they say. I'm going to alert them all about it. All right, the trade show's there. If anyone can make it down, I have no problem. If everybody wants to ride, well, I'll drive down with you. But again, I'm going to be down there. I'm trying to figure out what day I'm going to be there. But I'm going there just to basically warn every public company that they're going to zero unless they stand and fight. So if there's 20 companies there, those 20 companies are going to know that they have to do something. And don't listen to the bullshit that all these people are telling you. All right, and Figure Motion will be there, and we could sort of get an update on what the hell is going on there. So they're right there. So if you have an interest, if you can make it, it'd be great for you to go see them in person. Get your own answers. All right, that's how. Sometimes, unfortunately, you have to go to the source and see what the hell's going on. So I'll get off my ass. It's about a 2-hour and 20-minute ride from New York down there. So just go down and do it. What's the big deal? Get a hotel room for one night if I want to stay, and that's it. Just go down there
The
and do that.
mountain goes to Muhammad.
So Finger Motion is being manipulated again every day, straight down, 10 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents. Then they wash it to create some volume. GTII, it's the same pattern. There's no one selling it. I don't know one person who called me up and said they sold it. I spoke to 200 people today. No one's got a gripe. They all see what's going on, and they're all waiting for things to turn. That's just the way it is. I can't stop it. I reached out to Elon Musk again. They're destroying his company. He can stand up and fight back. You could say that there's some fundamental changes in his company. True. I always told you, all companies have a down period. Microsoft, IBM, you name it. UNH today was down 30, I think. All right, that's one of the babies of the government to push up. Today came out with the bad news, they all dump it. Caterpillar was down. What did they do? They take up, IBM was up big, right? Microsoft, Apple, NVIDIA. So they kill some stocks, they take up the others. Tomorrow they'll kill the ones that are up and buy the ones that are down. And that's how they balance out the market. And it always looks like it's going up. It's rotation. They're doing a rotating sell program. Every couple of days. That's why I keep trying to tell you. You never know when they're going to pull the plug on you. Costco, this one, the video, soon they'll go after that one again. Right now it's the darling, so you got to stay out of the way. But Tesla pulled the plug out on everybody today, right? What was it down? $25, $30? I don't even know.
I can find out.
No, I'm just trying to show you that as far as the market goes, you never know when they're going to hammer you. And that's why I've been telling everybody, be careful. This is what they do. And you can sit there, the market's up 100. Yeah, but if you own Tesla, you got wiped out. All right, so people don't look at it like that. They think people go home and look at the Dow Jones, it was up 100 and everything's A-okay, but not if you owned any of the stocks in the shit and the shitter today, you got a problem. All right, like I said, UNH, Caterpillar, they destroyed Tesla today. And they take up Goldman and other names and they balance it out. So just go look through the Dow stocks and you can see how they're manipulating them. All right, so you can look there. Now on to the star of the day, ZJYL. I do not own a share. I've been following it because of the forward split. And some people are saying, thank you. They're up $150 in a couple of days. Just think of that. Imagine owning a stock up $150. Imagine owning, instead of owning 5 shares or 10 shares, owning 10,000. That's what this game is about. This company obviously is overvalued. There's a big short in the stock that's in trouble. We know it's coming through Interactive Brokers. They've been scrambling. What are they going to do? They've been fined for naked short selling. They should be out of business. You know, think about what these guys do. They have a brokerage firm and they basically they steal from their own clients. They pay a fine for it until everybody's okay. That's what they do. If you would do it, you'd be out of this. But they're in the boys club. You can get away with it. I posted the video of the CEO of Interactive Brokers talking about GameStop and how the system almost fell apart on the GameStop short squeeze. He's right there. He knows all about it. They all know. They all know that people are selling things they can't deliver. And when they get called, they're going to get run over. And that's what happens. And that was definitely not a retail stock, those people doing that. They were talking about people buying options and exercising them and forcing delivery. If you sold the options and you want to exercise them, you need to send the stock, right, William? William?
I'm not sure what you asked me. Something about selling the stock, but I didn't hear the first.
If you buy options, call options, and you call up your broker and say, I like to exercise my call option and I like to get the stock sent to me. That's what they were saying was squeezing GameStop. Those guys were buying calls and demanding delivery of the stock.
That's wow.
That is not Roaring Kitty's plan. That's hedge funds doing that.
Wow. That's
So
pretty
he
good
said
strategy.
That's how they do it. And that's how they kept grinding it and grinding it and grinding it. But the animals can't help themselves. They keep selling calls, thinking that they're gonna, catch the top, whatever. And they all got roasted. And the guy said the system almost broke right then and there. So what have I been telling you? This is the biggest crime in U.S. history, in the world history. And when you do break them, the losses are infinite. All right. Now they can't protect these people. All right. But I'm just trying to show you the damage, what's going to happen here. All right. That's the game. And I believe this ZJYL. I think, I heard there's a big money manager trying to buy 35,000 shares and he's got a $400 top. It looked like someone was trying to buy it today.
They stopped trading at the end of the day. Why? A couple of people asked me, why did they do that?
Because it gapped up at one point. It went from 346. Someone came in a bid 370 and it went up $30 in a second. And they stopped trading. And I think the short did that on purpose because it was near the end of the day and it requires a 10-minute halt. Am I correct? I think that's what happened.
But what's so hard about 35,000 shares to buy? That's not a big amount of stock.
Well,
it's a lot in this situation, maybe.
It's a lot in this situation. 35,000 shares, if the guy gets it, he'll be multiplying that times 20 next week, right?
Right.
So his position's going from 35,000 to what, 700,000?
Do you think there was going to be a margin call at $290, $300?
I don't know how many. Listen, I worked on trading desk. If anybody was short a stock like this, your boss would come over, grab you by your hair, break your fingers with a baseball bat, and throw you out the door, including Stevie Cohen. Anybody. No one is doing that trade. The only people that are doing it are frauds. No one on the street would be allowed to even play that because you can lose $1 billion playing this type of game. And no firm wants to lose all their money over something so stupid.
It is stupid.
It's the whole thing is moronic that we're sitting here. I have to babysit.
Nobody's
Take
selling
criminals.
this stock, Cam. I mean, even if
there's
we
no-
sold everything we had, it'd be a blip. The insiders aren't selling 80% of the float, and the people you know own the float or more. They're not
My
selling.
friend owns 25,000 shares at $1 at 110. At
Wow.
310, just to show you how much money that is.
Yeah,
How much money is he up on $200?
it's $200 times 25,000.
It's 5 million.
Times $225. Yeah, 5.5 million.
My friend thinks he's going to make 10 million out of this thing, 10, $15 million out of it. Only because of one thing. The best business plan in the world is a short squeeze. The SEC is allowing these things to happen. No one else is allowing it to happen. They are. People have sold too many shares, have got themselves upside down. You can see that they can't, there's no shares to borrow anymore. I think Interactive Brokers finally got the memo and they taken down all the shit. One brokerage firm had all the shit, had the whole float. They were lending out the whole float. One brokerage firm. Think about how crazy that is.
Yeah.
My friends own the stock at Schwab, Ameritrade, and Fidelity. They have their stock is in that Interactive Brokers. What are they lending out? So it just shows you the fraudulent. The stock loan is complete fraud. Pat Byrne retweeted that when he sued the street, the only thing he got out of it was what? That the street, that Goldman Sachs, 75% of their revenue and profits come from where? Stock loan. That tells you the whole thing is fraudulent. They make up numbers. They lend out shares. I put up the easy to borrow. Pat Byrne wrote a story in Deep Capture. If you want to go, just Google deepcapture.com. It's called he put up the easy to borrow list. They discontinued it at Goldman. Goldman used to have, let's say, 100,000 shares of ZJYL. They said it's on the easy to borrow list. 10 hedge funds call up and they want to borrow it. They go, just you make a note that you're borrowing it from us. You'll pay us the fees. And everyone can borrow 100,000 shares. It's only supposed to be for 100,000, but 10 people borrow it. So now that's 1 million shares they plug
So
into
the fee they're getting is more than the shares they own.
10. Multiply times 10.
Yeah.
And that's sitting there saying, okay, this is a hard to borrow. It's going to cost you, 5,000 a day. I'm making up a number. Times 10 people. All of a sudden, they went from 5,000 to making 50,000 just on this one name. Imagine if the number's higher. So they were making up stocks, lending it out, getting paid. The hedge funds think they're borrowing the shares. There's no shares to borrow. Now they're viewed as a naked short. The whole thing is screwy. And the hedge funds are going to say, we're not naked shorting. We borrowed the shares. Oh, really? Who'd you borrow from? Goldman. It was on the easy to borrow list. They blame Goldman. Goldman's blaming you. And meanwhile, the shareholders in the middle getting robbed. There's no compliance. There's no rules. There's no one enforcing anything here. And you keep looking at it as the most prestigious market in the world. It's completely fraudulent. Completely. They create more derivatives. Derivatives are created to do one thing, confuse you and make it easy for them to create and do more things, right? That's all they're doing.
The illusion of a hedge.
That's all it is. Everything's got a fancy name. Everything's got another hedge. I told you, convertible debentures, convertible bonds, all they do is create more fraud. There's no reason to have these things. But
Imagine if an auto dealer, you go down to your used car lot and the guy sells the Cadillac 10 times, and he just calls it rehypothecating.
Right. That's all it is. Airlines, when they overbook a flight, it costs them a fortune to get out of it. They'll overbook a flight on $200 tickets, and they'll have to spend $1,200 to get rid of you.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone pays for their mistakes except on Wall Street.
They're too big to fail.
And that's what but the people that are doing it are crumbs. They're the low lives of the earth. People dealing with Aegis are the same people. Savvy, that Hal Mintz guy, Adam Long, not the Kramers. The Kramers are too low for them. They wouldn't even ring their doorbell. But Yorkville, these guys stand around with the money. They get a call from the guy at Aegis. Hey, we got a company in here looking for 10 million. What's the symbol? Oh, you can go to town on it. Boom, I'll do it. Tell them I'll give them 12 million. And they get the game going. So Benchmark, Benchmark, Maxim, H.C. Wainwright, these guys all do the same thing with Aegis. And it's the same people. They all have the same Rolodex. I heard Hal Mintz was doing all these kinds of deals with every firm. You call them up, I'm in. Whatever it is, I'll take it.
The same
Because they know
pattern.
they could kill all the companies. And when they call you up and say, hey, this is Aegis, this is Joe Blow at Aegis, and I have a deal, you say, I'm in. How much you in for? 2 million. How much you raising? 10. You know what? Make it 4 million. And they all partner up. Who else is in? No, Lynn Partners is in. Okay, we'll both do it together. And that's it. That's all it is. And you want to keep saying yes as Hal Mintz or Yorkville or Lynn Partners, because the more yes you say, you get shown all the deals first. Correct,
Right.
William?
Right.
And when you did secondary offering, not IPOs, excuse me, you had people that would take every IPO.
I did both. And number one, the national desk would call my manager. If he didn't take the stock, they don't call him again. And then he'd call me.
Right.
I was one of his handful of guys. I think there were 7 of us, might have gotten down to 5. I never turned anything back, ever.
Because if you turned it back, you never get shown it again.
Exactly.
My friend had Ranger tickets. I'll change it to I'll change the subject. My friend had 5 tickets for the Rangers against the glass. Okay. He offered it to me. I said yes. Every time that he couldn't go, I had to say yes. Because the day I say no, they go to somebody else. And I said yes. For 6 years, I went to every Ranger game. And I had to keep going. Rain, snow, every time I said yes, I had to go. And the worst part about it, if anybody doesn't know hockey, the seats were against the glass and the camera at the Garden was straight on me. So everybody was wearing red, white, and blue. I always wore a gold sweater because when they watched the games, they couldn't go to because they were traveling, whatever. They used to love watching the games. They would always see me on the camera and know that I used the tickets and I brought people to the games. They were $900 a night tickets.
Whoa.
I had 5 of them every night. I took everybody on Wall Street there. The security guys all thought it was me. That's how I went there all the time. And you know what? It's hard to go to so many games. It's not easy. But you have to say yes, because if I said no, it gets passed over, just like you're describing. You don't get it again. So I was the rotation. It ended with me, just like it ended with you, right?
Yep.
You say no, you don't get a call back again.
Oh, I never got the hot deals.
William, you would say, hey, listen, I only want the ones that are really going to work. Don't show me the bad ones. You know what they'll say to you? We'll never call you again.
Exactly. And I never got the hot deals. That my manager would put it, we're going to put it in a hat. And it always went to this one guy. Always. He got the 100 or 500 shares of the stock that went up. Yeah, I never got those. But I wanted the ones that went up a little bit anyway. And if I'm telling you, though, if you ever turned it back, you didn't get the phone call the next lifetime.
That's how it works in a lot of things. I just showed you how it worked in the real world with me. That's how it works.
And
You turn
there would
it
be
down.
some long nights where I had to hit the phone all night, didn't get home till midnight
Put
or
it all
1
away,
o'clock.
right?
Yeah.
You had to sit there and put away 200,000 shares of a $40 stock. You had to do it fast, right?
I had to
Take
put
5, take 2. I promise I'll get you the hot one the next time, right, William?
away, I remember 100,000 shares of, I think it was called Kimco Realty. And I finally
remember
got it
KMCO.
done. And you couldn't flip out of it right away because, well, you wouldn't get your commission, but also you wouldn't get any other deals. So I think we had to hold it for a month or something. Everybody made a little bit of money, but I looked at Kimco a couple of years ago. If people had just held on to that stock, they'd be bloody rich. But no one wanted to hold it. But anyway, that's a lot of stock to place. 28 years old, 100,000 shares at $20.
That's what happens in this game. And that people don't understand. That's what they do. In brokers, you have to put it away. So you got to take the good with the bad, correct?
Yep.
People sit there, I only want the good ones. Well, you're never going to get a call again.
Well, and then at my office level, my office would, the guy at the national, the investment banker or the trading desk would call. They needed help from us in order to help give us something later on. They wanted help on this deal, and you'd have to help. And then I would remember which clients helped me, and I always made sure they got the next deals that worked, always.
If you helped me, you get the first call. That's how it works.
Yeah,
You're very good, William. You understand the game.
I never took advantage of any client. I always went back. If they got hurt, I went back to make sure.
William. That's why where you are today. You needed to rob everybody. That's what we should have did. We should have sat there and said, instead of doing the right thing and hurrying to get my clients the best price and working my tail off for my 6 cents a share, I should have screwed them. I should have ran them over, stole $1 a share from them. Are you crazy? That's what we should have done. That's our problem. We did the right thing.
I never.
Look how happy the Kramers are. They're having parties. They're buying mansions. Hal Mintz lives in Fisher Island. The other guy, Adam Long, lives in Dorado Beach. Everybody's having a party.
The
Who knows where Jeffrey Lynn lives? Where we at.
The funny thing about parties, they always end.
There you very good, William. You're on your toes today. Your eyes are okay. Now you're on your toes. Very nice.
My eyes.
So anyway, you see the brokerage firms. We expanded on the crime for you. Now I'm showing you the brokerage firms like Aegis. I'm sure if you went to H.C. Wainwright, they have the same laundry list of names of public companies they slaughtered. And just like, Benchmark, they have the same thing. Every one of these companies that has a debenture with warrants attached to it are all destroyed. It's just the way it goes. And the government can't seem to figure it out. None of these people are investors. They're just looters. They're not investors, they're looters.
Exactly
And
right.
looters get shot. That's what happens to looters. They get shot. These guys deserve it.
They know that if they sell stock without locating it, no one's going to enforce the rules.
That's what is going on, because the selling and finger is relentless every day. The selling and finger is telling me, okay, you can have your own opinion on it. It's telling me that someone is so desperate, is so in trouble that they don't know what to do. They can't just stand there because they're going to get carried out. They know it's coming. Something's coming. Pete from Philly, we texted each other. And he's like me. He believes something. They're so desperate, so brazen. They're doing it for a reason. Listen, when you rob a bank, you wear a mask. These guys are running around without even a mask on now. That's how desperate and brazen they are.
They're not confessing. They're bragging.
That's exactly. And I tell people, watch The Big Short. Watch it again. and just make believe it's stocks versus those bonds, the mortgage bonds, whatever it was. You know, just change it, change the instrument. It's the same thing. These guys are selling it. People aren't marking it properly. They went to regulate everybody. They did everything they can to try to get it exposed, right? They were sucking wind, those guys. They had the right bet. But everybody was holding the pricing down. They were choking, paying those fees to carry the bet. Think how many people who did the same thing that followed them bailed out of those bets. Because, you know, once those guys got involved, they told other people to do it, right? And they had to keep paying the fees to keep their bets open. And they kept dragging it on. It was all fraud. It's unbelievable. You're seeing it here. Interactive Brokers is carrying millions, who knows how many millions, of naked shorts in that stock. They were trying to flood the market with anybody that would help them borrow shares so they could sell it. No one did. That ended. The company did a forward split. Now their backs against the wall. And William, I do believe that somebody, and that whoever's short, is going to panic. Tomorrow's Friday, correct?
So couple of questions on ZJYL, but it goes to what you're saying. Is it squeezing now, or is the squeeze yet to come?
Oh, it didn't even warm up yet.
Okay. And then a couple of people.
You can see, listen, the short sellers are basically sitting here and sucking wind. They're not even, they're just basically, you know, there's some people like we talk to who sell their 5 and 10 shares or, you know, 100 shares. And, you know, you bump into those people that have bought it at 100, sold it at 200, and good for them. But for the most part, once they disappear, once someone who's flipping it is gone, you can see the spread is really big. And you say, what does that mean when the spread is really big, like 240 to 296? And when you got a spread that big, the shorts don't want to make a market in it anymore. They're basically surrendered.
Right.
If it trades at 296, they're down another $40. So they're not happy about that, number one. The only reason they're offering it that high is because they don't want to sell another 100 shares. They're sitting here, they don't know what to do. I always told you, if a short seller wants to stop, get the longs to quit on a stock, they make the spread real wide. They're hoping no one's going to step up and trade it at 296. They're begging, please don't trade it here. And that's what I see. And do you want me to explain that again?
Yeah, go ahead.
When the spread is 240 on the buy side and 296 on the offer side, all right? 296 minus 240, you got $56 spread. The shorts are offering it at 296 because they hope and pray no one trades it at 296. Who's going to pay up $50 for stock? That's the thinking. And when someone does, that's when they faint. And if they took the 296 today or it didn't stop trading, the next offer would have been 350.
Right.
Because they're moving backwards so fast. They're moving backwards as far as they can. They know there's going to be a bomb drop, so they're moving as far away as possible. That's what they're doing.
So what's your advice for people that are up in the stock? Should they sell now or later to take their money, their first money off the table?
They always sell a little. If you bought 5 shares, selling one at 300, one at 350, it's all good.
Yeah, just take. Then you're trading for free.
You got it for free. You could sell 20%. If you sold 20% of what you own, you got enough money to have. If you got 5 shares and you sell 2, you should have enough money to cover anything that happens at that point. Correct?
Yeah.
And that's how you got to look at these things. I don't know. We know someone's trapped. We know they're short. We're hearing they're taking it to the moon. You have to figure out your only risk tolerance. And the way I look at it is, the risk tolerance is for everybody is, hey, you know what? I can take plenty of risk if I have very little on the table. Right.
So one gentleman pointed out today's volume was only 23% of the average daily trading. Does that signify anything to you?
Yes, that means the short sellers are in a panic.
They're going to have a long weekend.
They're going to have a long weekend if they survive tomorrow.
Right. And then the final question that I wrote down for as I went down, there might be more. What is your price target of ZJYL? What is that target based upon? How is that target arrived at?
That's a great question.
Are you giving me shit? Of course.
No, it's a great question. It's based on who the fuck knows. I don't know. It's based on people that are in the front line. I'm the front line in Finger. I'm the front line in GTII. I'm not the front line in ZJYL. There's other people that are understanding it more than me. And when they speak, you listen. That's how I base it. They said it's going to 30,000, right? I said that, what, 10 days ago, 12 days ago? I don't remember.
I can't remember either.
I could have said 600, but they said 30,000. So I told you exactly what they told me. And I'm using, just based on what I'm hearing, that if this thing starts to rip and roar, I assume GDC is going to follow suit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's all I know. GDC acts awful. I'm told that they're accumulating stock, and that's what it is. So you got to sit there, and I'm suffering watching it, but you know what? I see the team, what they're doing, and you know what? Let's see. Listen, they're playing with a $300 stock. We're playing with a 30-cent stock and a $2.40 stock. Look how hard it is. All we know that is in Interactive Brokers is short, and that's where the source is. Now, I don't want to be making up stuff, but my best guess is that there's a leak in Interactive Brokers telling somebody that someone has a problem. That's my opinion.
So explain that. What does that mean?
That if I worked at Interactive Brokers and I walked out the door and I go, Williams, I got a guy short this stock. He's getting killed. He's going to get bought in. He's short millions of shares. They're doing a forward split. Where do you think the stock's going to go? We're going to buy him in soon. He's on the ropes.
And then that person you tell might give you a little bag of cash at some point.
Well, I'm not going to say that. You know, listen, I would, if someone gave me something like that, you know, I would definitely say, hey, you know, you know, if I'm going to make myself $10 million, you're going on a nice trip. That's for sure. That seems like the funny way. That seems how the world works. You scratch my back, I scratch your back, right? Does anyone not understand that? So if you said to me, you were bending my arm, I say the leak.
I think Amber Heard never knew that. There's certain people that don't get the concept.
I think the information's coming out of Interactive Brokers. Someone there knows something more than anybody, and it's basically telling people on the outside. And this is like, you know, all you can eat and kill somebody. That's what's going on. Just like GameStop. They knew they were dead there. The big guys on the street knew Merlin Capital or whoever else was short. They knew they could get them. That's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
So
For those who don't know, is small as a telephone booth. If any of those who have a telephone booth, it's very small.
Wall Street.
It's a small place,
And the
Everybody-
loyalties to your friends, not necessarily to your firm.
Oh, forget that. I mean, it's your friends. Who cares about the firm? If I got a scoop like that, I would have parachuted out of a window to go down and tell you. What are you kidding me? And everybody I know would do the same thing.
Blue Horseshoe likes ZJYL.
You remember that movie, right?
What was the name of it?
There's a fun Wall Street.
I know, but what was the name? Blue Horseshoe or Blue Diamond or something?
Endicott Steel or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the funny story about that, I met a gentleman that was going on a train downtown, and Charlie Sheen was on the train going to film the movie Wall Street. My friend told him a stock tip, right? He was a broker.
Right.
His name is in the movie. They said it 3 times. Get
Cool.
Peter on the phone.
Cool.
They used his name. And I just met the guy and he told me the story. And it's true. I pulled up the movie and I found it. Where they were saying his name.
That's pretty cool. Do you know the Chinese stock SXTC? Apparently it's a bio stock, low float. SXTC. You know, Decroto, the thing here is with ZJYL, Ham's very close to some players. Doesn't mean he knows the story of the company, but he knows what the trading is in the stock.
Would you like to know what the company does or what the players do?
I don't care what the company does.
So I figured out that, you know what? Forget what the company does. What are the players doing?
Every deal that came across, I used to take the prospectus home and study it. But then we were getting 3 or 4 deals a day to place. Like, you know what? I'm looking for some investors who'll do every deal and I'll make sure you make a lot of money. I'm not going to read every prospectus.
So you had those clients, so I never did that part of the business. I didn't do IPOs or secondaries. But when I did get a big block of stock, like, you know, I used to have Nomura give me business out of Japan, and the Daiwa Securities, Nomura. I did all the business for the Japanese brokerage firms. And when they call me up, we knew that the seller was just a big fund. So if they gave me 5 million shares of Motorola to sell, I would sell 3 and tell everybody I have 2 million to go. Everybody would take 500,000 shares. I put it away in 3 seconds.
Wow.
And that was getting 6 cents a share.
But you could get a bigger portion on the 500,000 at a time, right?
Oh, everybody loved it because now the stock would jump back up. I have the stock down $2 on the 3 million shares.
Yeah.
As soon as I stopped selling, the stock would rally back $1. And my guys would make, you know, they make 2 million, they make $2 million. You know, because the selling was done. They took the rest of it, and that was it. And now the stock would lift.
And they learned to trust you.
I didn't even have to, I just told them what I had. And they knew that I wouldn't call them up unless it was the right spot to take it. That's how it works.
Can
So
IBKR?
I do believe the leak, the information's got to be coming out of Interactive Brokers. Someone's tipping them up that someone's upside down big and they're in trouble.
Can
Too
Interactive
much details. Yeah.
Can Interactive make a deal to get shares somehow, somewhere to avoid the squeeze?
I don't think anybody's going to help them.
I've tried to place a limit order to sell at 7,000. Well, put it in at 7,100 and see what happens, or do day orders. You know, I don't know.
Hey, listen, I have no idea, but I think the opportunity is here. I think the information is coming out of Interactive Brokers. There's too much detail on what's going around. So obviously someone at Interactive Brokers is leaking the information out. And everyone seems to know what's going on there. So that's how I look at it. there's numbers, there's this, there's that, obviously someone's upset. Maybe someone who works at the hedge fund that's doing business through Interactive Brokers, doesn't have any more money. Interactive Brokers knows someone at Interactive Brokers who's in the margin department says, hey, you got to deliver us more money. They don't have it. And they're giving them 24 hours to deliver it. I don't know.
The question is, can they exit before it drops? I'll ask it differently. If this thing does take off, will it be all within one day, or will it last a little longer, do you think? There's no way to know.
I don't know.
There's no
The way it looks with the every time it jumps up a certain percent, they halt it. So it looks like it could take a couple of days for it to happen.
Okay. That a couple of the other big ones that moved took at least a couple of days.
Right. And listen, if you own the stock, you got 5 shares, 10 shares, whatever you got. Listen, we're small potatoes in this game. The big boys are here. So, you wanted to play with the big boys, we're with the big boys, right?
One thing is, you're not going to get an A on this paper or an A+. So when you sell, it's probably going to go up. If you don't sell, it's probably going to go down. Just be glad you took a profit, and whatever number you get, be happy with it.
Yeah, listen, I don't know. Listen, again, if you got 5 shares and you sell one at a time as it goes up every $70, whatever it is, then you have 3 for free. I mean, that's all you can do, right? You're playing blind. I'm giving you as best I can. That's all I know.
And
my guess is that the information's coming out of Interactive Brokers. That's my guess.
And I indicated, this is one stock. If this works, there'll be others. So you don't have to feel like you missed something if you're not in
No,
this.
Listen, I'm not in it. I'm reporting it. I'm not even in it.
That's true.
I said I don't have a share. I don't have it one share.
You were shrewdly buying GDC at $4.
Oh, yeah, I just showed you how bright I am. I was sitting there saying to myself, I cannot buy enough of ZJYL to get myself a big payday. So I passed on that one and I went for the cheaper one, like we always think, and tried to get as many as I could. And you know what? That backfired.
That's not over yet. It's not over yet.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about Finger, and I'm just waiting for something to happen in GTII. There's all kinds of stuff going on there, I hear. So the company's being presented with deals. Let's see what they come up with.
So here's go ahead. Sorry, I talked over you.
I just don't think that I think the company has one chance to make it right, and they're going to do the best thing. So let's see what happens. Finger Motion is completely different stock. Again, I'm just yapping. Finger Motion is a completely different stock. You can see their path, what they're doing. It's right there.
This is a mechanical question. Webull warned Mexican not to sell his ZJYL until it settles. What if it squeezes tomorrow and you're waiting to settle? You can sell. They're just going to say to you, don't ever do it again. We're going to block your account for.
Wait, they want you. You can't sell your stock until it's settled.
You can sell. They're just going to say in the future, I don't know. They'll put a restriction on your account.
Wait. You're telling me your brokerage firm tells you can't sell until it settles?
That's what they're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. You sell it first and don't worry about it.
Yeah. Go ahead and sell it if it's up and deal with that later.
Deal with that later. Don't let them dictate telling you to hold on to it because they're I don't know what they're afraid of. They have your money. You purchased it. They worry about, I don't know what they would be worried about.
Because they're worried.
The counterparty.
But I guess you've already paid for it. So it shouldn't need to settle. It's
I don't know what they would. If you wanted to have fun with them, why don't you call up and ask them? Say, okay, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Everybody can buy a stock.
It's Webull, though.
Right. Again, these firms are all fly by night. They all get $1 billion valuations for getting 10 retail accounts. Robinhood is worth $10 billion. All they do is steal. They robbed everybody. Couldn't give a rat's ass about you. I don't know how anybody opens an account there. There's some great online accounts. Just go Google it, find out who's got the best platform, what you need. No one is doing anything sophisticated here. You're just buying and selling a stock. You shouldn't have all these headaches. These are headaches because these operations are run by, knuckleheads.
Look, Wall Street, Pat Burns said that Goldman Sachs is a stock loan desk with the name of an investment bank on the door. I think that describes the entirety of Wall Street right now. It's all set up for this scam that's writ large across our financial markets. But that's just
they rigged the game, and you know what? I figured it out. Other people have figured it out, and people had enough. And it's been going on a long time. Pat Burns said he's going to handle it if Trump gets in. What more can I say? If you guys have a beef with Trump, you know what? If you want to make money in this world, you got to vote for him, whether you like him or not. That's the way it goes. You can take all your nasty, all kinds of crazy shit you want to yell about. I really don't care. I don't care about my family and my financial future. I don't give a shit about anything else. Pat Burns, the guy, he's the most honest, straight shooter you're going to meet, and he says he's going to take care of it. You need to get his people in there because this will happen then.
He's like Joe Biden. He's honest.
Yeah, right.
Ralph wants to know, Ham, what price should I sell my ZJYL? So
I don't follow that stock. I'm sorry.
Just state again how high you think it could go in a squeeze.
They said it's going to 30,000.
In a squeeze.
I'm told if it opens up at 10, if they do the reverse and it opened at 10, they told me it was going to go to 30 real quick. So I don't know what the combination, what that means, where the stock is, but if it opened at 10 on the reverse, it'll be 30.
So that's 600.
That's $600.
Well, 30 times 20. Yeah, 600.
So, when they do the forward split, that's what I heard. It's going to go from, if it does a 10, it's going to 30. Maybe 20 goes to 40. I don't know.
Well, it wouldn't. The point is, it's not at 10 right now, is it?
Remember, wait. The one thing you got to remember, everybody will have 20 times more shares than they have. So going to 600 is you're going to make a lot more money there.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I again, the numbers that I'm hearing are massive. It's got to be coming out of Interactive Brokers because the data, the numbers are we're hearing too much of what's happening. The numbers are basically, you talk about high numbers, I've never said 30,000 a finger. I could see 3 to 5,000. I never said 30. That's talking about shooting a rocket.
Kilby's saying, who has the crystal ball for tomorrow on ZJYL? My crystal ball, it's breaking 300.
I think it's.
Ham's going to say it's going to be down in the morning and then they'll fight all day. I don't know.
You know what? I didn't see it at all today. The volatility has come out of the name. When you see the volatility, I mean the wild swings. When you don't see the wild swings, that means the short sellers are basically, they're on the boat and they're clubbing the shark. That's what that means. That means they're out of gas. Because they're not selling enough to average up. As a short seller, if you're short at 100, you need to sell a lot more at 300 to get even, right? To bring that average up. But 15,000 shares is not going to get you. It's not going to get you even. You'll be doing this for up to 1,000. You can't sell enough. So and as the stock moves up, remember, everyone's got more margin calls, more liability. If Interactive Brokers is holding this position, they're telling the guy, hey, besides the normal volume, we need you to put up $500 a share. And with that, think about if you're short 1 million shares, $500 just a margin requirement. And you say, well, who's gonna put up $500 a share? you have no choice because if you don't put it up, they buy you in.
Right.
And if the stock goes to 350, they may say, hey, whoa. It's not 500. It's 12 o'clock. It's now 600. Send in another $100 a share. Because as it goes up, remember the prime or the broker carrying the position is saying, we need more liability. We got to protect ourselves. So that's what they demand more money from you.
So this question I get a lot, and to you, you're going to go, what? You don't see it, but it's hard to get the concept. So Ham, if ZJYL splits, is it possible the price will still go to 30,000?
Yes, but in a different combination of numbers. I don't know what the numbers equate to when it goes
1,500.
versus
1,500.
that's what you're going to see, something like that then.
So David, if you take 30,000 and divide it by 20, then that comparable price after post split is 1,500.
All right.
That's still a hell of a move. You don't need 30,000.
Listen, don't be a pig. Always make money, and then you know what? You got a gift. You listen. You're getting a learning lesson same as I about a forward split. We all know what a reverse split does. Now you're looking at a forward split. This is rewarding shareholders. The reverse split is destroying shareholders.
Mexican, if it goes to 10,000 and you want to sell, whatever the penalty is, it's insignificant. Just take your money. Money's more important.
How long is it taking to settle? How long is he on the stock? I mean, what is
he's got to wait 2 more days. So, but if it moves tomorrow, go ahead and sell. Tell Webull if they give you a penalty, you're moving your account to the other shitty firm, Robinhood.
Just don't worry about it. Just sell it. If you want to sell it, sell it.
Just sell it.
Don't pick your price, pick your nose, do whatever you want. Pick your nose. Maybe you get a winner there. Do whatever you have to do.
Oh, gross. Oh, gross.
What were you, not a kid?
That is gross.
Don't pick me a winner.
Go pick me a winner. Gross. Oh, I don't want a cornea transplant. Ugh. Yeah, here again, they're asking, how long will ZJYL squeeze? Days, hours?
It could happen in minutes. I don't know. You can see what happens. It just jumps. It was 246 on the close. It jumped to 276 in a blur. Someone wanted to pay up $30.
So Pizza Rules is asking you, Ham, ZJYL looks as if it would be hard to buy back on the dips for the shorts. Do you agree?
That's why the big people are not selling it, because you can see that they can't, there's no selling. They can't buy it. When you see the market go like say 250 to 270, right?
Settled cash.
With no trades, all of a sudden the bid drops to 210. So it goes 210, 270. And what that is saying that the shorts are trying to drop the bids to make people say, oh my God, the bids are dropping. Let me sell it. But no one's falling for that trick. And then all of a sudden someone comes back and puts a bid in, and all of a sudden it goes, whoop, goes right back up again.
So Spiny explained what's going on with Mexican. If you buy stock, but your cash hasn't settled yet, they're letting you trade when you put cash in, but they want you to wait whatever it is, 2 or 3 days to make sure the cash is settled.
Well, your money has to. You bought stock. You just put money into an account, and you just bought stock without
yeah, they want it to clear first, sort of.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
but they want to make sure that you didn't write a check that's going to bounce, or you're free riding. They don't. There's no free riding here.
But I still think if it goes to 10,000, sell it and sort out the penalty later. But I think
just think about that story. All right, imagine being that guy who just from Webull, and the stock goes to 20,000, and he can't sell it. Boy, that's going to be some story telling his family.
I tell you what, I would enter the order and have the brokerage firm tell me I can't sell it, then you have the basis for a lawsuit.
Listen, I'm only saying it as a joke. Imagine that happening. I
Oh,
watched the
God, that
stock
would
go
be
from
a
here to
story.
there, and I couldn't sell it.
So,
Or that's even worse. That's even worse than me buying GameStop and selling it at 118 and watch it go into 500. Or worse than me when I bought a couple of hundred Avon calls, told me to own it till 10 o'clock in the morning. I raced to the office. I sold it at 10 o'clock under my instructions. And at 10:01, the stock went up $6. And it cost me like $200,000-$300,000 because I did what I was supposed to do. I missed it by 1 minute.
that happened to me with a friend of mine. And I don't remember why, but I was late getting back to my desk, like elevator or stopped to talk to somebody. And I did the trade as of, I don't remember the particulars. I did the trade as of when it should have been entered. It cost me $12,000, hard money, not soft money, hard money, 12,000, just because I dawdled to get back to my computer.
It happens, William, it happens to everybody. So join the crowd. It happens to everybody.
30th of January is next week. Does it squeeze before or after that?
I think it goes into, listen, if you just make believe you're the short seller. You didn't jump into this stock to have a 20-for-1 forward split on you, right?
Right.
You got into the stock, you thought it was going to be a wild one. It's just going up and down. I'll sell some stock and I can collect it when it crashes. Well, they tried crash it. It didn't work. The company came out, caught the shorts. Now they're doing a 20-for-1 forward split. So, I don't think anyone signed up for that. And now they're short here, and now they have to make a decision on what they're going to do with that. That's where you're at with that stock right now.
Devonda asks a really interesting question. Bought one share at either Webull or Robinhood, and if when the forward split occurs, will they prorate the shares on a fractional? In other words, if Devonda sells a portion of her one share,
how could you sell a portion of one share?
Because they do it fractionally at Webull. I don't know.
Really?
They do fractional
All right,
shares.
well, I don't know.
But I'd be careful. I would call in first and find out, because they don't want to lose money. I don't like that whole fractional share shop anyway.
I don't. It's news to me, but I don't play that way.
Somebody's saying I'd rather go on hearing a tip from you than on technicals on a chart. That kind of makes sense.
I used to be. I was in the top circle of hearing the stuff.
Guys, if back when I was quote unquote trading, if I had access to a guy like him, and he wouldn't call me, he would keep it in a tight circle. But I'm not saying every idea he has is going to work, but the more sources.
William, that's wrong. I had 85 winners in a row.
Wow, that's before Florida State. Oh, sorry.
Add them on. I got a call from compliance one time. They said, "Who the hell are you?"
85 winners. Wow.
Big winners every day. Boom, 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 boom in a row.
That's because you were trading Steinhardt's money?
Let's say I was tied to some very powerful people. When you get a feeling on how they operate, you can see you can actually see the future when you're trading stocks.
So maybe you're the problem, not the solution.
Get me back to that problem. Those are great.
So in your opinion, if ZJYL runs, where will the group go? Finger, GDC, or GTII, or all three?
I think that the big plays are going to keep scooping up GDC. We'll grab half of those guys and bring them into finger motion.
I agree with that. I think they'll go to GDC first. Yeah, of
I put
course.
that up on, I put it up, William, when you're out today. I said, if ZJYL goes past 500, I think you're going to see GDC take off.
That I agree with that, Miles, because
And that's exactly what I said in FNGR.
if
When
you,
that goes,
yeah,
GTI is going to go.
and if you remember from what Ham said yesterday, day before, well, I better be careful. I think you said that they were accumulating a certain amount of stock before they thought it would run, but I better not say.
Yes.
You might have said that privately, so
I can't remember the number.
I can, but I'm going to keep it to myself. Should I buy ZJYL now? It's going to be more volatile, but
the only way you can do it, if you're going to buy one share, you're spending $300. You're spending $300 to get a lesson on what can happen with a forward split.
another way to do it.
That's how you have to look at it.
Another way to do it, King Arthur. I don't know if you have a grand, but you could buy 3 shares. If it does go to 900, sell one. You get your money back, and then you have 2 for free.
Well, listen, I would do it. I would buy one, and if you wanted to buy another one, if you put a bid in at 230. If you paid 300, you bid 230. You get a 255 average, whatever the hell it is, right? On 2 shares. If it goes to 355, you can sell one. If it dips, you buy it back again. That's, what can you say? If you want to sit for the gusto, as long as you own 1 share for the gusto, that's good enough. I mean, you can't. This is not going to make you a gazillion dollars. It's going to make you money, but you understand that a forward split. You understand the game. Nobody on this phone. I don't remember a forward split. This is not my space. I was a big board guy. This is not my space. But everybody's got a new trick up their sleeve, and let's see what it's about. That's what it's about.
The other thing is what Ham started to say. It is what he said. You could buy one, and then if you're wrong and the stock goes down, buy another one or buy 2 more
Right.
if it's down.
You bid for it. Let it. If it does drop like a stone, maybe that may be a good thing in the morning. Put a bid in for 100 shares or whatever, 1 share at 220. At 218. So maybe if they try to open it lower like they do in finger motion every day, like the Lynn Partners does every day, they try to gap it down. Maybe you catch it, at the bottom, and then it runs back up. You can always buy one later.
Right. But it's nice to have one, my opinion is just opinion. I think it looks like it's breaking 300 tomorrow, and it won't be back to under 300 anytime soon. But who the hell knows? That's just stupid chart reading.
Listen, I don't know anything about the charts in this thing. I do believe the information's coming out of Interactive Brokers. Someone's leaking it. Someone's in trouble, and the street knows about it. That's my belief. This is a big play. This is real big money, and someone's in trouble here. And I told you, they said last time Interactive Brokers got in this situation, they lost like $80 million.
Whew.
That looks like what's coming down the pipe here, maybe more.
They just offset their gains.
I just
save
laugh
some
at this
taxes.
guy. I posted the video of the CEO speaking about GameStop. It's right there. He tells you they know the system was in trouble because of the shorts. He knows all about it. And they got caught naked shorting themselves. Think about that. The brokerage firm that you trust is naked shorting.
So here's the question. I'll just read it as it's written. Say I'm looking at the order book and I see 100 blocks offered at 300, but maybe there is a retail long offering 6 shares at 302. Can I skip the 300 block and pay up for the long at 302?
They won't let you through that. They won't let you go through unless they make the sale.
Right. That is right.
But I also think that in this stock, if there is a bunch of 1 share offers at 300, I can guarantee you 8 or 9 of them will be fake. 8 would be fake and 1 would be real. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. William, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. 298 on ZJYL. Right now
What?
it's 298.
On what? ZJYL.
It's trading at 298.
Well, I posted before, if you were a day trader, William, and you shorted 500 shares at 230 because you thought it's going to drop 100, and all of a sudden they had the halt, you couldn't cover into the close. So they're trying to cover in after hours.
Yeah.
So if anyone on the phone wants to make a sale, throw it out there at 320. See what happens after hours. Just leave it out there. Maybe they take you.
Ramon's asking on GDC, is the target $50?
If I told you it's $50, that's the target.
Okay. It's not raised.
Yeah, it's 50 and a quarter now. Now, they said it's going to 50. So if it changes, I'll relay it to you. But I'm sitting long at 386. My friend owns 1 million shares at $4, but maybe a little less now because he bought some more. And I'm following smart people. That's all I'm doing. Some people follow Goldman. Some people follow Stevie Cohen. Some people follow this guy. I'm following my friend.
This Rhino, not a Rhino, bought 5 ZJL. All right. I hope it works. I think it will. Danielle bought GDC, so he's just like you.
All right, just getting the we're like, what's his name from the Bronx deal? I got to get in the bathroom. They told me in the bathroom. I'm what's his name? The mush. Whatever his name is.
You have to get into the steel tub so the bullets don't go through it. Not legal advice says hi to you, and he says it's all scam street.
You know what? Richard is a gentleman. I love talking to him because he's someone not from my world, but he is an attorney. And when I taught him my world, his mouth must be open because I can't see him, but I can see him saying, "I can't believe it's this bad."
Well, one thing about Richard is he's a scrapper. He's a fighter like you are. Richard's doing this fight, I don't think with much reward, but he's not quitting and he's sharing his information and his legal knowledge, and access. He has access to legal documents that would normally cost money. He's doing all that for free. And it's not easy to take on Fidelity when you're one shareholder, but he's doing it.
But he could see the score. For whatever happened with Mark Bazile today in the MMTLP, where they got denied to see the blue sheet investigation, the numbers. Just think about that. Why won't they show these numbers? It's just in the court.
Because one of the sharks is going to get eaten by the rest of them. They don't want to show the numbers. If I had to guess, Fidelity will go bankrupt, or Merrill Lynch will get destroyed. I don't know which one they'll sell off.
So for everybody on this call who thinks that we're crazy and these numbers we make up are out of this world, it's 205 million. Prove it, right? Really? MMTLP says it's 600 million shares. They can't get the numbers from anybody on it. If the numbers were normal, they would have gave it to everybody. These things are so out of whack. These things are so out of whack that they're hiding all the numbers. That's enough for me to tell you that the whole system is crooked right there. And I feel bad for all these small companies. Like, I'm going to go to Atlantic City to that conference, and I'm going to tell everybody exactly what I told you. I work for Walmart. I'm looking for someone to stack the shelves. You're a CEO, you'll be the best candidate. You better take the job now.
Oh, you're a CEO and you're going to take a deal? Well, we do have openings at our new Kmart location.
You can be a greeter. That's what I'm going to tell them. You love to shake
with your skills. You could be a greeter.
All right. Before you waste any more time running this company, quit. I'm just going to paint the dark side for them and say, good luck. You think you're going to make it out of it? Not a prayer. Or I should just tell him, say, hey, what are you doing? Yeah, I'll listen to his story. I'm going to say, hey, you want something? I'm not a short seller, but thanks to you, I will short because you're going to be zero. Who's your banker? Oh, benchmark, zero. Next. Zero. I'll take the marker out and I'll put zero on their forehead.
You're going to take one of these deals? Let me give you a lawyer's name. What's your angle? Well, I just got I'm a, what do you call it in that movie? I'm a rainmaker. And
Right.
the lawyer just gives me a piece of every settlement because you're going to court, boy.
They're all going down. I mean, just look at the damage. It's just relentless. I put that stock up. PXMD was $27. PXMD. They took a deal from from Lynn Partners, excuse me, 37 to 50 cents. Now it was very illiquid at 37, but they drive it down till they find buyers. And let's say that their first big tranche of buying came in at $10, down from 37. They were doing 10,000 every day. All of a sudden at 10, you got 100,000. And then at 950, you got another 150,000. Then the next day you do 300,000 at 9. Then the numbers keep getting bigger because the CEO is telling everybody our company's doing great. We got financing from Lynn Partners. And all of a sudden you get a 1 million share day. So now Lynn is short what? They're giving these guys 10 million. They already sold, 4 million shares at an average price of 10, right? They made 40 million. That's how they do it.
That's the thing. The money made specifically on these notes, that wouldn't pay for one day's rent on Madison Avenue. The real money is from the kickbacks on the 100 million they take out of the market cap.
That's what they do. They just keep doing it. And they just think about it. If they sold, $40 million worth of stock at a $10 average, all of a sudden the stock drops to $1. They sold 5 more million shares at $1. Then 5 more million shares at 50 cents, at 75 cents on 10 million. It's another 7.5 million. And they just keep plugging it and plugging it and plugging it.
Do you know anything about UCAR? UCAR?
People asked me about it today. They said it's 10 cents. It was a Chinese deal, went to 60, blah, 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 blah. I don't know anything about it.
How about BETS? BETS?
No.
Raka says,
all day. Listen, when you ask these questions, come with a direct question, and I can. The UCAR, I'm going to try to get an answer on because it sounds compelling.
Raka says GTII obviously done. Everyone moved on to new shiny things. How can Ham not know the float on GTII? Well, number one, I don't think anything you're saying is true. ZJYL is just a small little thing. No one's moved on.
I don't even own ZJYL. So listen. I'm going to set up a conference call for you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. You, me, and William, and I'm going to talk about GTII.
Okay.
I'm going to just talk about it for an hour.
Okay.
I'm going to say whatever I have to say, but you can't get off the phone. I'm going to talk until your ears bleed. Because after a while, I have nothing to say. I can only say so many things. I'll sit there and you'll listen to me babble about GTI. There's a trade. Oh, it traded 100 shares. There's a market maker. There's this, there's that. What do you want me to say? The CEO's got to put a deal on the table. I can't do anything about that. What's the float? The hell do I know what the float is? If it was 1 billion shares, I don't know what it is, but there's only 300,000 shares trading a day. So what's the difference what it is? There's nothing illegal being done. The SEC would have shut them down already, right? The SEC knows us. We put the truck in front of them 1,000 times. What else would you like me to say? I don't know what else to say anymore. I can't, we've done everything. I can't, everybody I know owns it. Would you like to talk to my friends who own 25 million shares at $1.50 or $2? Want to talk to them? They're down $50 million. Want me to talk to them? Hold on a second.
Good point, Kitteridge. And Miles, that's a really good point. That Batter,
Call ended.
he hung up somehow. Batter, that's the projection somebody said on a spike. It could happen.
Call from.
All right, hang on. I gotta get. Damn it. He hung up again.
Try your call again later. Good.
Call ended.
I don't know. Maybe his battery's not working. you, you're starting to sound like me. I guess we're all getting tired out. We're starting to use our other words. I don't know if it'll happen Monday. The vote is the 30th. I don't know, Rondell. I want to see the announcement about what the record date is. I believe they have to give 10 days notice before there's an effective record date after the vote. So that's my belief. Let me try them again.
Yes, William.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. You're live, but
Oh, no, I was standing by the men's room and I jumped up from the table and my phone disconnected. I'm sorry. But yeah, what was the next question? You had another
why are
question?
you in the men's room?
I'm at the college. My son's taking
Ah.
classes, so I'm picking him up. So so I was waiting for him to come out. So
You're
that's
not
why I'm
making
having a call.
extra money.
I'm not making extra money. I should be. That's
When
the
you-
Kramers. The Kramers are doing that outside the tunnels.
When I first went to Cairo with my friend, you go into the men's room. It's a great place. I highly recommend it. But there's 6 men for every one job in Cairo. And as a guy, you go in after you need to, stand there and do a tinkle. As soon as you step away, there's 3 guys with toilet paper, tissue, handing it to you. Oh, God. Everybody's after money every step of the way.
Well,
I'm trying to get you other questions. Wow, not legal advice is stepping up. He is stepping up to the party. He has 75 shares of ZJYL at 91 smackers.
beautiful.
That's a pretty nice trade already.
But we know who's paying for dinner.
I know who's paying for not legal advice's legal bill.
When the federal agents come and get me, tell him he has to defend me.
How did we find each other? I find him a little abrasive and cornball, frankly. Keep putting profit into finger. I don't think that's a bad strategy at all. I don't think that's a bad strategy. 298 ask on ZJYL.
Well, again, I think that towards the close of after hours trading, I think you can make a sale at 320, 325 if you throw it out there, if you want to sell a share. So, I mean, because after hours, people aren't paying attention. So turn your thing to, you could trade after hours and put an offer out there at 320 and just put it for the day and leave it out there.
I don't think the voting goes to 331. I think the voting goes, you must mean 131. Maybe that's true. Anyway, they already have the votes. They already have all the votes.
Everything is done already.
She's trying to break 300 this afternoon. I agree, Josh. I mean, it's evening here, but by the way, inquiring minds want to know tonight, Djokovic or Sinner? Who's going to win? Djokovic or Sinner?
All I know is I don't know the gentleman that played the other night. Medvedev against this other guy was outstanding.
Hurkacz. Hurkacz.
It was unbelievable. It was so good. I can't believe they got the ball.
Medvedev plays Zverev tonight after Djokovic.
I mean, they were hitting the ball. Each guy hit the ball. Each 10 to 15 strokes each game, each swing for a point. I mean, it was just amazing. I couldn't believe how hard they were hitting it. And they're never hitting the net. They were putting it in corner to corner to corner. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah, I grew up, Jimmy Connors was my favorite. And he would always invariably hit the net. It was so crushing. So that Kit Kitteridge points out that forward splits allow a crowd of investors who might be skittish on buying $100 stocks to buy the stock when it's $5 or $10. And the short doesn't want that.
That's exactly the next leg of this journey. There you go.
All right, Hidden Valley Pickleball. Gary Gensler's office called Hidden Valley Pickleball back and said that the Office of Investor Education and Advocacy and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is investigating MMTLP and NextBridge, and that Gary Gensler is not involved.
Gary Gensler's not involved in what?
In the investigation, I guess.
The guy can't find his ass from his elbow. What are you kidding me? Give me a break. They should have stopped that a long time ago.
Can I put a
know they're
GTC order for $20 to catch the forward split? Put right now, to get $20 right now, you'd have to put it out, I think, at 400. So put it out at 400 if you want to get $20 after the split. But don't put it out at 20 now. You'll get a mark. That's a market order.
No, make sure you always use a limit. Listen, if you're buying the stock, never put an order in to buy it at the market. So let's say the stock is offered at 300 and you want to try to get it. You put an order to buy one share at 310 top, a 310 limit. Never put a market order. If you want to sell it, and say the stock is 300 bid and you don't know if the bid's going to be there, you sell one share at 280. That's the low. You put a limit on the sell side, you put a limit on the upside. Never put market orders in this name. You'll get taken down. They'll drop it $100 to take your seller and then move it right back up again. So be careful.
Mr. T, I don't have it here. Maybe it's on my other desk, but you can go to the SEC website and you can find the proxy. It's a proxy for the vote on the forward split. It's there. Or check your email, as one guy told me. Check your email from your brokerage account. I'm just trying to go as quickly as I can. Scott says, thank you, Ham. Billy Ray Valentine says, thank you.
I wish you guys had thousands of shares. I wish I had it too. But again, I'm glad you get this. Listen, everyone here, I know you guys, a lot of younger people here, understand what you're seeing. If they don't change the system, you got to learn to navigate the system. So this is just another way. This is a needle in a haystack. You found a company that's doing a forward split that caught the short. It's something that's, crazy, but you know what? This is what happens. The government allows this stuff. They allow it to be pushed down. And when they get caught, like Robert Shapiro says, the government allows this because it takes care of the bad actors. That's what Robert Shapiro said.
The level 2 book shows one share for sale at 24,000 and one share for over 22,000. I think one of those might be my order, frankly. I didn't want everybody to know. Shoot, my secret is out.
You stick out like a sore thumb, William.
The 17th offer down the list. Darn it.
Listen, just make sure everyone trade in front of Williams. You know where Williams at, trade in front of him.
They'll stop thousands of shares trading just shy of my one share. Darn it. All right, let's see. Averaging down. All right, let me see something I said. I said ZJYL could go to 30,000 in a spike. When does that spike happen? At the end? And what causes a big spike and a squeeze? A spike is caused when there's initially a panic among the small shorts. They don't want to get their account wiped out and they start buying. But then ultimately it's the back office that just closes out open positions and they're indifferent to the price. Once your compliance officer says we are buying you in, they buy you in at any price and they settle up later. First, it comes out of your pocket, then it comes out of the other brokerage firms involved, and then it comes out of probably the DTCC.
Again, the back offices have people working it like me and William. We're sitting there all day. And someone comes in, hey, there's a red light blinking on ZJYL. That account XYZ owes us $10 million in margin money. So someone calls them up and says, hey, you got to put 10 million up. And they're having a tough time putting up the 10 million. Then the stock jumps again. They say, hey, you know what? It's not 10 anymore. You got to put up 15 or 20 million. And now me and William are looking at each other and say, this guy's in trouble. We're experts in this, and this guy's in trouble. William, I'm going outside to get a hot dog, and you're going to sit there and say to me, don't you tell anybody. Oh, no way, William. I'm getting a hot dog. I'll be right back. And you look out the window and you see me sprinting to offices to tell people or make phone calls. That's Wall Street. So I do believe that the information is leaking out of Interactive Brokers.
This guy wants me to tell you about a stock because it got breast cancer approval, but it also did a massive reverse split. So I personally think the stock it's not the house, it's the mortgage. I think it has a bad mortgage. It might be a great story.
Listen, they, I expect that to happen. I expect that to happen in Northwest Bio. Northwest Bio is a small company. Now it has 1 billion shares out there. And when they do finally, get the approval for their brain cancer, I could see the CEO saying, you know what, screw this. Let's reverse it. Instead of selling the company at $10 a share, let's sell it at 100. And you know what? Me, management, and everybody, will make a lot more because we put our years in this thing. I could see them doing that.
Call from Juan Garcia.
That happened.
I think with Northwest Bio, this stock, the symbol is Paul Charlie Sam Apple, PCSA. Anyway, I think with Northwest Bio, if you buy it, you just got to wait till two giants like Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson get in the
but
bidding
they look
war.
at it differently.
Yeah.
You got to remember there's 1 billion shares. At $10, it's $1 billion deal. It's a $10 billion deal. You reverse the stock, a $10 billion deal could be $100, right? So for the management, their positions will remain the same, or they'll get rewarded. And you know what? The shareholders, they get a lot less. That's just the way it goes.
So everybody here, Beery just bought, he now owns 25 ZJYL. Why did I open my mouth? I had 17 and I was going to be rich. Now everybody else is going to make more money. I'm glad you got it, Beery. I hope everybody makes a ton of money. But I'm the piker now. I thought I was a hero with 17.
Well, listen, get in line, William. I'm the piker. I got 0. And the problem is that everything I have is down, and I'm a believer in I don't sell things that I'm following just to move into something else. I don't do that. So again,
So you don't know the short position in ZJYL.
no, I haven't had time to study it.
All right. Well, it's 6:30 and I think I have dinner plans. So I'm not saying hang up, but I'm just telling people
All right. So I'm gonna go eat my dinner.
we
Listen, everyone, have a great night. Good luck tomorrow. And like I said, if you want to make
I
a
guess I
sale,
am
put it
telling
out
you.
there. Put it out there, GTC. You want to sell it at 350, 330. You got to put it out there. Even if you want to trade it, make sure you have your order out there, because when it goes, don't sell it when it's going back down. You sell it when it's going up.
Yeah.
Right.
And same thing too. If you want to try to buy some cheaper tomorrow, put your order in lower. You don't have to buy it all at the same price.
Put it in now. Put it in before.
If there's going to be a squeeze, pick a number, pick a fantasy number, but put it in now higher, and you might get it. You don't know.
No one knows what the magic number is. With the magic 8, go get the
Well,
magic 8
the
ball.
shadow knows. I think the shadow
Go get a magic 8 ball. It'll tell you.
All right, Ham. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night. Good
All
luck.
right. Bye.
Call ended.
Okay, everyone. Somebody's in from out of town. I got to call them back. I think we're going to dinner tonight. And let me go through these. How high is up? Well, the crew that he's talking to thinks ZJYL, the number I remember him saying was 35,000. Now they're saying 30. Nobody knows, but it's a big number. I think Brandon, I think that's smart. I put the money I had available because I bought GDC, not a lot, but I paid like 308. But instead of buying more, I decided to do ZJYL. But that normally I would have just bought as it went lower. When you read trading advice, they always say don't double down on losers. But when you're buying stocks that you have information on, you feel like you understand the situ. To me, why not buy it cheaper? Obviously, I overpaid the first time at 308. I intend to try to buy more GDC if I get a chance. Yeah, I'm seeing 270 now, Jennifer, on E-Trade. Yeah, that's what Ham said, but I don't. Galadon, I don't think it's because he heard anything. It's just how all these CEOs think. I don't believe. To me, the reason to buy NWBO, it would be more of something that you're buying and you're going to set it aside and forget about it. You're not going to trade it. But if you want to trade it, trade it. What I would count on with NWBO is at least one, if not two, large pharmaceutical companies come in and say, hey, we saw the test runs, we see the approval, we've done our own data on the market. We don't care about the shorts. We don't care about the fake price. Your market is 60 cents. We don't care. We think it's worth $120. Well, they wouldn't even do it per share. We think it's worth, $16 billion. We'll pay you for it. Or if we think it's worth, $250 billion, and we'll pay you for it. Wow. I didn't know about Richard's letter. Thank you, Richard, for your letter. It was freaking awesome. I hope we got a win. But remember, June, we're all excited. We're all excited, but let's remember to sell unless you just want to let it ride. That's a different thing. But if, let's say this thing opens at at 350 tomorrow and makes a run at 1,000, like 700, 800, why don't we think about taking our original investment off the table? Then there's no anxiety if because there will be volatility. At some point, there will be volatility. And then you're going to be, but if you're already taking your money off, you say, well, the volatility, maybe I'll buy back some lower, but I want to try to see if I can get 15,000, or post split, I want to see if I can get $1,000, which would be like 20,000, I guess. All right, I gotta. Yeah, that's about the spread that E-Trade had. I'm having a hard time reading it. E-Trade has 225 to 298. Yeah, I get it on the cash account. 30,000 does seem crazy, so don't wait for 30,000. Just take, while everyone else is waiting for a high number, just take your profits as soon as you want to. You don't have to wait that high. It does seem crazy, but it's not unheard of. But I'm certainly not saying save all your loving for me. Dance with whoever you want to. Yeah, I made up that number, but I think it's possible. I mean, look, if you have a new therapy for hundreds of millions of people, you're going to go buy it. That's it, Meekers. All right, I'm going to sign off as soon as I get at the bottom, but I'll say you get 3 go fork. I don't know what V stands for. I can't think of something, but anyway. We understand. In other words, you get 3 sort of warnings. This is a warning, not a ticket. Good faith violations. Yeah, Jenny L. All right, so I'm going to say good night to everyone. Sorry I came on late. Peace, love, and happiness, but especially let's all pray for peace, at least for the children around the world. I always add in a prayer for all of God's creation because of the it looks like multiple reactor problems because of earthquakes in Japan. But anyway, let's not end on a sad note. And then pray for Jenny L, and pray for number 2 Pencil's wife. And I haven't heard from her lately, but we should say a prayer for Anna, Queen of Trades, who works so hard and absorbs so much. And I think she needs our prayers of support and strength too. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. So thank you very much. I'm glad you got some shares, Aaron. I'm glad. We'll see what happens. Thank you, Miles. And anyway, I only got worked up once tonight, I think. So thanks for your help on that. And we'll catch you on the flip side.